Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday, March 20th. If you're in the Toronto GTA area, you woke up to a lot of freezing rains. So hopefully you're getting to where you need to get to safely. So please make sure you take your time and get to where you need to get safely. If you're losing buyers left and right, they ghost you after the first call. They say, I'll think about it, or they pick another agent. You're not alone. Most agents are actually killing their own deals with the exact same 5 mistakes. Today, I'm going to expose them and I'm going to give you the fixes that can double your buyer close rate within weeks. Welcome to another episode of No Agent Left Behind Academy, Tactical Mastery, Real Results. I'm your host, Stephen Kim, and in the next 30 minutes, you'll get the tactical scripts, timing hacks, and mindset shifts to stop bleeding buyers and start closing more of those buyers in 2026. Drop in the comments right now. Let me know, what's your biggest buyer conversion struggle? Is it ghosting? Is it the objections? Is it the low show rate? Just quickly share in the comments, like, what are the biggest challenges you're facing right now with buyer conversion? So again, ghosting, objections, low show rates. Drop the comments below just so I get a basis of like what the challenge is and how I can help you in the next 30 minutes to strengthen your buyer conversion. Gonna get the slideshow ready to go. All right, here we go. So buyer conversion mistakes. Don't kill the deal. Avoid these 5 common buyer conversion mistakes. Sedge says uncertainty right now. Absolutely, right? We are the real estate guides, and it is our job to provide certainty in an uncertain situation and landscape, and especially everything that's happening right now with regards to energy, the war, rates. Bank of Canada a couple of days ago held the overnight lending rate. There's a lot of uncertainty. And the thing is what I know in all the years of sales that I've been in, almost 2 decades of sales, it's enthusiasm, it's optimism, right? So if you focus in on problems, you get more problems. If you focus more on the good, more good happens, right? Demetra says indecisiveness. Yes, and it's our job to kind of wade through all the cloudiness, all the muddiness, the murkiness, and provide clarity in an uncertain position. That's what we get paid for. So let's get right into it. Buyer conversion mistakes that are killing your deals. So today's content, we're going to talk about some of the most common mistakes that agents are making. Number 2, the 5 conversion strategies, the 5 mistakes most agents make when it comes to converting their buyers. And then the last one is something that I absolutely want to really focus in on, is asking better questions, right? A really great guide and a coach asks really thoughtful and intentional questions, right? Getting someone from A to B by laying down a series of questions and making the consumer feel like it is their decision to make, because let's be real, it is their decision to make. So right now, we just quickly talked about, what's killing your buyer conversions right now is the ghosting after the first contact. They say, I'll think about it and vanish. No shows or weak appointments, which I do want to focus in on, because in all the years I've been coaching, in all the years that I've been doing real estate, and all the years I've been speaking to other agents and brokers and team leads, one of the things that I've realized is most agents have a tough time booking the appointment with intention. So C here is what I really want to focus in on today. D, objections I struggle to handle. So are you an agent that just struggles to handle objections? And if that's you, then my quick fix, easy fix would be to start role playing. Start objection handling, role playing with another agent from the office, from social media. It doesn't matter, or other. So we have indecisiveness and uncertainty as some of the biggest challenges we face right now with our buyers. Let's move on. Okay, so common buyer conversion mistakes. So we got to move away from these mistakes into measurable KPIs. I'll say it again. We got to move away from these common mistakes into more measurable KPIs. And some of the mistakes are, number 1, pre-qualifying buyers before building rapport. We've all heard this before, especially in sales. People want to do business that know, like, and trust us. It's that mirroring effect in sales, right? Have you ever gone into a situation, met with someone, at a new event, and after having a very quick interaction, you have this feeling and sensation to be like, wow, they've really, I feel like I've known this person forever, right? You have to be able to build that level of security, that safety in sales when it comes to speaking with their buyers. So pre-qualifying buyers before building rapport is a big no-no. What about this one? A generic automated follow-up all of the time, right? And that's in brackets. Look, I love automation to do things that will help ease the flow of business, make things more efficient. Absolutely. But you cannot remove the human element in sales. I'll say it again. You cannot remove the human element in sales. from the sound of your voice to the way that you look, from just the warmth and energy, from the optimism, the problem solving. You cannot replace that human element in sales. So generic automated follow-ups all of the time. Let's get rid of that. And number 3 is not identifying the stage each buyer was in, treating them all the same. And that's a big, big no-no. Whether it's a buyer coming from, sign call, whether it's a buyer that's coming from social media, whether it's a buyer that's coming from an open house, whether it's a buyer coming from a referral, we cannot treat them all the same. It is in the discovery. I'll say it again. It is in the discovery where we can really hedge, we can really convert at a higher level, is in that discovery. My question to you is, how good are you at discovering where each of your buyers are when they reach out to you? So here's some of the 3 most important measurable KPIs when it comes to working with buyers, whether it's this market or any market. Number 1 is the conversation to appointment conversions. The conversation to appointment conversions. Look, I'm all about meeting with people and having conversations with people, but if there's no intention with regards to getting them to a real estate appointment, emphasis on a real estate appointment, then we're just kind of spinning our wheels here. And so we have to take it one step back and say, you know what? What value can I bring to this conversation that will make that buyer want to get onto an appointment with me, right? So what's the value I can bring to the buyer so that they have a willingness and a wantingness to get on that appointment with me? The second KPI is reduce the number of showings to offer. Now, you feel me with this one, right? I remember one buyer, and this was just a beautiful buyer, beautiful couple, but a high S, the highest of S's. And I spent probably close to 2 years working with these buyers. And this was early on in my career. And at that time, we had seen over 50 properties. It was 51 properties to be exact. And on the 52nd property, they had offered. And I just remember how exhausting that was. And I was like, you know what? There's got to be a better way of doing this. So number 2, reduce the number of showings to offer. And that's important. That's our job, to do some of that lifting, to only show properties to buyers that they want to move into. And so working with us as buyer's agents as well, part of our part of our responsibility is to disqualify properties, not just qualify properties. And the third KPI, when we're talking about measurable, conversion elements when we're working with buyers, is reduce the number of offers to acceptance. We shouldn't just be blindly throwing offers in and just kind of seeing what sticks to the wall. That is not a responsible thing to do when working with our buyers. So this concept of, let's just try, that's really building up a false sense of security and hope with our buyers. It is your job to guide the buyers based on current market conditions and where they're at in their buyer journey to ensure that they're seeing the right properties and they're offering accordingly to what the market is dictating. Okay, conversion strategy number 1. This is the biggest mistake: slow speed to lead. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm talking to some other people right now who might be tuning in. Slow speed to lead. We've heard this time and time again. Speed to lead wins business. Speed to lead wins business. And here, why it kills is this. Leads contacted in less than 5 minutes, they have a 9 times higher rate of conversion. I'll say that again. If you reach a lead in less than 5 minutes, they have a 9 times higher rate of conversion. And what I mean about conversion is reaching out to you, picking up your phone call, responding back to your text. How many agents wait hours, if not days, to respond? One of the things that absolutely shocks me is when we get an online lead coming in and reaching out to us. And one of their biggest pain points is they're like, hey, Steve, I tried reaching out to this agent and this agent regarding these properties. And what's crazy is they've never called me back. And I think that is absolutely ridiculous. So slow speed to lead, why kills? Leads contact in less than 5 minutes. They have a 9 times higher rate of conversion. The fix is this. I call it the 60-second rule. It's an auto text and an immediate call. We can all send a quick text. So in your notes section in your phone, the notes section in your phone, write a text message that you literally can copy and paste, and you can text it to that lead that's reaching out to you at a particular property. It can sound something as generic like this. I'm just in the middle of an appointment, but I will respond to your request within the next 1 to 2 hours. But that's an auto text and then an immediate call. That is a 60-second rule. The script might sound something like this. Hey, blank. Hey, Jenny. Stephen Kim here. Just saw you inquired about this property, X. I'm on right now. Quick call to answer your questions. Right? And that's if you have the time. But if you're in between an appointment, you can use the other text. But if you're on right now, you can send them something quick. I'm on right now. Quick call to answer your questions, and fire that off. The next mistake we make is leading with price and features instead of value. And I'll tell you right now, if all you're doing right now on your first intake call with a lead is leading with price and features, you're literally doing what AI can already do for them. Instead of doing that, let's lead with value. And this is why it kills the buyer conversions. Buyers tune out the moment you sound like every other agent. I'll say it again. Buyers tune out the moment you sound like every other agent. How many agents out there lead their very first phone call with price and features? And it can sound something like this. Yes, this property is listed at $1.89 million. Can I ask, what's your budget? What's your down payment? What's your timeline? Right? That's price and features, right? There's a 4-bedroom house sitting on a half-acre lot, yada, yada, yada. You got to know the buyer's pain points and motivation. I'll say it again. You cannot make anyone do anything in real estate unless you can uncover these two things. Number one is their pain point. Why are they looking to move? And number two is their motivation. How highly motivated do you think that they are? Now, the fix is this. Lead with their desired outcome and proof. I'll say it again. Lead with their desired outcome. So wherever they are in the buyer funnel, and proof, which are your past wins. And the script can sound something like this. Hey, before we talk listings and price, tell me, what's the number one thing you'd want in your next home to make it, let's say, perfect? Great. I've helped multiple families get to exactly that in this market. Let me show you how. So what's happening is it's the desired outcome. What's the number one thing you'd want in your next home to make it, let's say, perfect? That's the desired outcome. And then we follow that up with proof, past wins. Great. I've helped multiple families to get to exactly that in this market. Let me show you how. You could go one step further and give them a real life example in the past 30, 60 days of a buyer you've helped exactly where they're at in the buyer journey. Conversion strategy number 3 is weak or no appointments set. Why it kills? Most agents actually never firmly set the appointment. I'll say it again. Most agents never firmly set the appointment. And this leads to your leads going cold. The fix is this. Use an assumptive close and a time-specific task. Use an assumptive close and time-specific tasks. So the script can sound something like this. Hey, sounds like we're a great fit. I have 2 spots open tomorrow, 10 a.m. or 7 p.m. Which works better for you to jump on a quick call and map out your plan? The assumptive close and time-specific task. So the assumptive close is, sounds like we're a great fit, right? Which means that we should be working together. And the time-specific task is, I have 2 spots open tomorrow, 10 a.m. or 7 p.m., which works better for you to jump on a quick call and map out your plan. Please avoid this. It really aggravates me when I hear salespeople say this. Hey, would you have time next week? Hey, could you hop on a call? Do you have any availability? Do you have any questions? Those are terrible, terrible questions. Those are not assumptive closes. Hey, would you have time? Yeah, let me think about it. Could you get on a call with me? Yeah, I'm not sure. Do you have time next week? Let me get back to you. You got to give them a time-specific task. I got this block and I got this block. Which works better for you? So we can map out your plan. And that's an important distinction. So assumptive close and time-specific task is how we can set appointments en masse. The next one, getting defensive with objections. And this is a real deal killer. I'll tell you right now, getting defensive with objections. So since I've had my license, it's either been a seller's market or it's been somewhat of a balanced market. I've never seen a buyer's market like I have right now. And so buyers right now have the ability to leverage not only timelines, conditions, and offer price. Why do we as agents get so defensive when buyers give us these objections, whether they don't like this property, they think it's overpriced, whatever the case may be? It's not our property. It's our job to guide them through the buyer journey to ultimately land them on a house. Getting defensive with objections, why it kills the conversion is arguing or being defensive around objections make buyers hesitant. I'll say that again. When you get defensive with them, all you're doing is getting them to be much more hesitant and reluctant on A, wanting to work with you, and B, getting a property in this market. The fix is this, 3 elements, and I do this all the time, whether I'm coaching, my coaching clients through Tom Ferry, my team, or I'm speaking to other agents. Agree with them, right? Agree with them, which requires a level of empathy. Reframe the objection, and then isolate it. So agree, reframe, and isolate. And the acronym is ARI. Anytime you're faced with an objection, remember ARI. Agree, reframe, and isolate. So the script is this. We've all heard this before, right? It's too expensive. A lot of buyers are saying that right now. It's just too expensive. Here, agree, reframe, and isolate. I totally get it. Prices still feel high right now. Most buyers I've helped feel the same at first. Can I ask, is it the total price or monthly payments that feel off? Let me show you some ways I've broken down the numbers to make this feel more affordable / in line with your budget. You got 5 minutes? So here I'm going to break this down. The agree, reframe, and isolate. The agree is this. I totally get it. Prices still feel high right now, and they are still somewhat high right now, depending on the product and the market that you're looking in. That's the agree. The reframe is this. Most buyers I've helped feel the same way at first. Sorry, that's still part of the agree. Here's the reframe. Can I ask, is it the total price or monthly payments that feel off? If there's one thing you're going to implement after we're done this call, this YouTube live, is that one question. Can I ask, is it the total price or monthly payments that feel off? Let me show you some ways I've broken down the numbers to make this feel more affordable in line with your budget. And that's the isolate. So isolating, is it price or monthly payments? And then how are you going to solve that problem? Right? So let's walk away from arguing or being defensive around objections and remember the acronym agree, reframe, isolate, which is ARI. All right. Now, before I reveal conversion strategy mistake number 5, just drop in the comments below here right now. What's one thing once we're done this call, you're going to implement with the 25 cold leads that are sitting in your phone book, your CRM, or your Excel sheet? What's the one thing that you're going to implement, whether it's a script, whether it's the ARI acronym, whether it's the buyer journey, understanding where the buyer's at, but just drop in the comments below. What's the one thing that you're going to implement as soon as we're done this call? And then I'm going to reveal the last one, the last conversion strategy mistake number 5, get into some questions, and then we're going to get into some homework. So let's wait a couple of more seconds. But what's one strategy that you are going to commit to implementing as soon as we're done this call? Hopefully you're not texting and driving because the roads are still slippery. Okay. We'll come back to that as it pops up. Okay. Conversion strategy number 5. Okay. Weak follow-up cadence, right? And I see this all of the time, in that the follow-up is so weak with agents. And I'm going to out a lot of agents on this, right? We know your fortune is made in the follow-up. Your money is made in the follow-up. And most of us have a weak follow-up cadence. Going back, Catherine Toss says, quick text response to reply to new leads. Yeah, that's fine. And that's amazing. And that's something that we can do as long as we have, a text maybe ready to go. I found this out on my iPhone. This is going to age me, but my daughter showed me how to type in a couple of letters, and from the letters, this canned comment comes up. So no longer do I have to copy and paste, but literally just type in SKG and boom, this canned text message comes up, which is obviously really, really good, especially when you're on the fly. Jenny says the too expensive script. Yeah, absolutely. So let's start implementing those. Okay. So conversion strategy number 5 is weak follow-up cadence. Why it kills is 40% of agents stop follow-up after the initial reach out. I'll say that again. Almost 50% of agents stop the follow-up after one reach out. That is crazy. That's crazy. That's for those who are married, that's literally going up to your spouse, the person that you're married, and you're telling me that, yeah, well, how did you guys, get married? And you tell me, yeah, I walked up to them and I said, hey, will you marry me? And they said yes. That doesn't happen. You got to date your lead a little bit. You got to warm them up, right? You got to kind of wine them and dine them and make them feel warm and fuzzy. Now, we know buyers need anywhere from 5 to 12 touches before engaging. Say that again. 50% of agents stop their follow-up after their initial reach out, and we know buyers need 5 to 12 touches before they will engage with you. Here's the fix. What about a 7 to 10 touch point cadence, which could involve calling, texting, emailing, bidding over the next 2 to 3 weeks? That has to be a relentless level of follow-up. a relentless cadence of follow. And your cadence example could look something like this. Day one, a call and text. Day 3 is a value video, whether you're showing them a deal of the week or you're talking about the interest rates, something along the lines of something valuable to them as a buyer. Day 7, a market update, and then you can rinse and repeat, right? But let's follow this cadence. If you're a cadence example, if you have a CRM, add this as a reminder so that when I wake up on a Monday morning, it's day 3 of the value video. I know exactly what I need to do to send it off to that lead. And if it's not in your schedule, it's not in your CRM, it does not exist. So there are the 5 most common conversion strategy mistakes that agents are making when it comes to their buyers. So quick little plug here is the asking of better questions. Sorry, I had a little bit of a brain fart right there. The next element is asking better questions. And it's in the questions that you ask that gets your buyer more focused in on their buyer journey. I'll say it again. It is in the level of questions that you ask that has your buyer be more focused wherever they're at in the buyer journey. So we have to ask better questions to build trust. And that's really ultimately it, right? Asking better questions to build trust, because it's not about you, it's about them. So here are 3 questions that we use consistently to build higher levels of trust to get our buyers, our cold buyers, into those intentional buyer appointments, right? And one thing here is this. Let's replace buyer consultations, right? Buyer consultations they're just too generic, too canned. What about something like this? What about, hey, let's book a time for you to get on with us so we can show you our buyer mastery process. So maybe let's change consultation to something a little bit more funky, a little bit more engaging. So here are 3 questions. I'm going to break them down for you. Number 1 is, has anyone reviewed with you? And that's a good one. Has anyone reviewed with you? Because you and I both know agents don't do that. Has anyone reviewed with you the pros and cons of each neighborhood you're looking in? Or how your purchasing power compares across different communities? Or what your priorities are and what you absolutely need in a home? Those are epic question drops to have the buyer to be like, oh, this is different. No one's ever asked me that before. Okay, curiosity goes up. The second question is, has anyone taken the time to do a buyer consultation with you yet? Maybe we can replace consultation with, has anyone taken the time to do a buyer discovery call? Has anyone taken the time to show you their buyer mastery process? Amazing. Number 3, has anyone shown you off-market homes that could be a better fit? Now, I've heard a lot of agents use this. They just can't deliver on it. You have to know with some of the off-market homes that could be a better fit. So you may say, well, Steve, how do I go about finding off-market homes? You could go to different social media pages. You could ask the broker of record at your brokerage. You could network with other agents to find out what off-market properties they may have. But I just want to go back to question number 1. Has anyone reviewed with you pros and cons of each neighborhood you're looking in, how your purchasing power compares across different communities, and what your priorities are and what you absolutely need in a home? I can tell you right now, if you reach out to 25 leads right now that are cold and you drop that, you get them on the phone. That's the caveat, is they have to be on the phone, and you drop one of those, I can promise you they're going to say no. And when they say no, their curiosity goes up, because what do you have, Steve, that these other agents don't, right? And this is all about building rapport. One of my favorite sections last week is I implemented this homework. And so if you joined me at YouTube Live last week, I dropped these homework pieces. So just as a reminder, hopefully you did your homework. Commit to asking 5 of your past clients these 3 questions. And last week we talked about the referral marketing strategy, RMS. Have you had any thoughts about selling? Who do you know that's thinking of selling? Who do you know that's tried to move, but it didn't work out? So hopefully that was a review of last week's homework, and hopefully you did it. This week's homework, super easy, super straightforward. Commit to 2 conversion strategies. That's all I want you to do. So I highlighted 5. I dropped a few questions at the very end that will strengthen your conversion technique. But this week, I just want you to commit to 2 conversion strategies. Number 1 is book 5 appointments with past leads by showcasing value, not price and features, which I'm going to say is 50 lead reach outs. So from now until next Friday, let's push one another. Let's hold one another accountable. Can you book 5 appointments with past leads that are maybe ghosting you, that said, hey, not right now, whatever the case may be? Maybe. I want you to showcase your value, not just price and features, right? And that could mean Going back to this question, the pros and cons of the neighborhood you're looking in, how your purchasing power compares or how it's been affected across different communities based on, the Bank of Canada's rate announcement on Wednesday. What your priorities are and what you absolutely need in a home, right? Those are huge value adds. And the second one is this. And I really want to emphasize and I want to urge this. And so we have a number of people, who are tuning in consistently YouTube Live. Maybe what you could do is reach out to one another and say, you know what? We've been doing this YouTube Live journey with Steve. There's a lot of scripts that I want to practice, but I have no one to practice with. I want you to do this. I'm going to challenge you to do this. So I want you to role play 2 times this week for the next 15 minutes each. So 2 times a week, 15 minutes each with a role play partner to go over your buyer objections. Because there are common objections. Regardless of the market, they're the same buyer objections. It's always around price. It's always around inventory. Let's work through that. Let's not get defensive, but let's showcase value, right? So I want you to tell me right now, out of everything that you've learned, today, 10 minutes ago, we dropped, some of the things that we're going to implement. What's the one thing absolute, with absolute confidence that if I implemented today on a Friday, March 20th, I would absolutely start reaping the benefits and rewards starting next week? What's one thing that I can do? So Catherine says, I do the canned messages a lot. Yeah, and that's okay. That's okay, but we know that there's better. Team Lecani, great stuff, Stephen. Really appreciate you guys. Amazing. Right. Share with me. What's the one thing that was kind of an aha moment for you on today's YouTube Live that you can begin implementing starting today? Maybe it's one of the questions, right? Maybe it's like starting with value instead of price and features. Maybe it's like, you know what, Steve, you are right. I am taking way too long responding to my leads. And I'm just going to send out more of a text and an immediate call right afterwards. But what was the one aha moment for you that you experienced on today's YouTube Live? I just want to get an idea of what it is and how I might be able to support. Because I've had a number of viewers, actually, which is great. I've had a number of viewers DM me privately to be like, hey, you know what, Steve, do you mind just sharing a little bit more on this? And I'm happy to do that. But I just need to know where you're at. Jenny says, ask better questions to get better answers. That's a huge one. I'm going to pin that one. It's a big one. Ask better questions to get better answers. And that's huge. How about this, right? How about not making it about you, but making it about them? And I know that's so cliched to say, but as a buyer, especially first-time home buyers, they haven't done this before. And, you're all experienced agents, high-producing agents. You've done this multiple times, time in, time out. It is really scary for buyers, right? It is really, really scary for buyers to enter into a market, regardless of what's happening. It's their hard-earned money. They don't know if this is the right decision. It's our journey to make sure that it's safe and that we meet them with where they're at, right? So maybe curating the buyer journey with where our buyers are at in their buyer journey. Okay. So it's almost 10:30. I just want to say thank you again for everyone who's been supporting all of the messages I get off YouTube. If you've missed anything, I would highly recommend going back to the YouTube channel. All the videos are posted there. Go back and watch it, whether you're in the car. We're also on Spotify. And if you haven't yet subscribed, it would mean the world to me if you did. And next Friday, let's make this even bigger and better. Can I ask you, could you just ask one other realtor that you know to join on the YouTube Live? We really want to build up this community, giving back to just elevate our community together. Script practicing, Angie Hahn says, Demetra, thank you. Amazing. Love you all. Hope everyone has a safe Friday. If you're driving, just please be extra cautious. If you're Toronto GTA, as the roads are icy, you know the drill. Be great, be kind, everyone. And I'll see you next Friday. Have a good one. Peace.